ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Safe Room. I am your host, the President Sean Williams, back with another episode. And today, guys, we got someone special in the building. Look, I feel we're about to have a great time with this person because this person is one of a kind, so divine and hard to find. Goddamn, dropping the bars with it. Today we got Rare, the creative Rare. What is going on?
Hi y'all. I'm here just vibing, doing my thing. I'm in my soft life stage of really just indulging in really good company, great food, skincare, looking good, feeling good, and it's all about that. So that's what we got going on.
I love it. High energy off the top. That's great to hear. Rare, thank you for coming on to the podcast. I know we connected probably over a month ago when we went to the Flaunted showcase at Corner Commons.
Yes.
Fantastic time, and just meeting you, I'm like, you know what, I have to meet her. And the funny thing is, like, I knew about you on Instagram because I've seen you at events for your photography, videography, and then when I met you in person, I'm like, wait, that's Rare. I was like, wow. Like, nah, like she is like amazing at what she does. So I'm like, I have to get her on. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I was at the Flaunt event. I know I'm not a singer, but I was like, okay, let me hit some Alicia Keys, and then it was a vibe altogether. And then the next day, or they had like a 2-day event. So on the second day, I ended up spitting some poetry, and people were really moved by it. And I'm like, oh yes, it just like reassures me. This is why we do this, because people can connect with your art. So I was so happy to also hear you hit the mic. I was like, oh, you got bars. Some unreleased coming soon. That's what I heard. I don't know. Whoop.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, like, for anyone who knows, like, I have a song for the podcast. It's almost been a year since I dropped it. Next week, the funniest fun fact, I actually dropped this song on my birthday, which is October 24th. So like, I better be seeing some birthday wishes coming soon, guys. But yeah, just like Rare mentioned,
You guys go check it out on the Spotify. Click the link in the bio. All that good
right,
stuff. The
right,
YouTube.
right. So yeah, like Rare mentioned, I actually performed this live. It was like probably the best moment so far this year because like I never thought I would perform this live. This is just for the intro and the outro of the podcast. So like the fact I got to do that, it's really dope.
It was lit. I think I might have some clips on my camera. I was capturing the
Yo,
event that
please
day.
tell
So
me you
I'll let you
do it.
know.
Please
Yes. I might even have it on my phone, on my Snapchat.
send
I
them
have to
to
check.
me.
But I got you. I got you.
Send it because like a lot of people been asking me too. Like, do you have any clips? And like I wanted to add it to like my newsletter too, but I'm like, dang, I don't got no videos or anything. So
Ooh. I might have that. I have it down. Yeah.
all right, great, great, great. So, Rare, thank you again for coming on. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna talk about you, some of your work and everything, and we're just gonna have like an open conversation, a good vibe. Usually, I try to make things like very formal, but like I feel like with you, with such high energy, it's like I don't want to like spoil the mood. Where it's just like, okay, serious, serious, serious. Like we're here to just to chill, to chill.
Yeah. Just kicking it. Okay.
Right, exactly. So before we get into the actual questions, we got to start off with the first segment, which is the hot seat. Now, look, don't let the name intimidate you. It's very simple. Four questions I'm going to ask. Just answer them to your best ability, all right?
All right.
All right, cool, cool, cool. So, question number one. Outside of your work, tell me something about yourself in one sentence.
Ooh. I am a huge collector of art. I really love when people do like draw portraits of me. Like I have like a bunch of portraits on my wall from people who just did like quick little sketches. It's really cool. I actually last month there was a homeless man, and he was like painting with his fingers like on paper, and I was like, hey sir, I have a couple some money in my wallet. If I give you it, can you make a portrait? He's like, yeah, sure. So he actually did a really cool like abstract image where it's like the shadow. I think it's like a silhouette. I would say like he created a silhouette using the paint and like pen and then outlined it and then added like scripture around it.
Hmm.
And I was like, wow, that's really cool. So yeah, I'm a art collector or a gem collector. I really like necklaces with the meanings behind it and everything. Oh, that's not a sentence, that's a whole
Hey,
paragraph.
look.
I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. Dang.
Don't even worry about it. Some people kind of fall in that realm where it's like, oh dang, I gave like a whole speech, but like that's totally
I'm
cool.
that person that has the stories inside the stories with more stories, and
Mm,
then it relates to another one, and I'm telling you stories inside the stories and getting sidetracks for hours. Like I can talk for
hey,
days.
listen. It's like I told you before we started recording. I said like we're gonna get deep in. Like you know what? I don't even want to expound it. You said you're an art collector, so like that's really dope. I know a couple of like artists who like are very profound in what they do. There's this one guy I know. His name is Kofi Frimpong. He's like
Hmm.
super dope. I definitely think
Yeah,
you should
yeah.
go check him out. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I know him.
okay,
He's taught a couple like workshops and classes, and I've got to like really learn a little one two from him. So, yeah.
yeah, yeah, for
I think that's a Toronto legend for sure.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Shout out to Kofi, man. Shout out to Kofi, doing his
That's what's
thing.
up.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool, cool. So question number two, what is your proudest photo or video that you ever took?
Ooh, proudest photo or video? I would have to say I've done so much work, so I'm like going back in the memory bank. Okay. I would say having a pretty big collection of film photos from Weston Road. That area is going to go under a bunch of developments in the next upcoming years, and I actually got I applied for a project to make a magazine for them. So I created something
Mm,
called the Weston Road Memoir, and it is designed, captured, and put together by me. I had an assistant, her name was Star, and I gave her the opportunity to learn about journalism, and she got to interview some of the restaurant owners. We went through the new and the old of the community. That has to be like one of my favorite projects, and we even had like an art exhibit within a church that's 200 years old, within the community.
wow.
And they actually had in the BIA on the street, they had like a Western Road Hollywood sign. You know how it's like really huge and long,
Yeah.
and it has like the light bulbs in it. Like someone had made it and donated it there, and then I requested it, and like it just made the whole exhibit really amazing. And I was so happy to really be a part of the community, in that sense. So that's my proud creation. And there was only 100 copies for the physicals, and there are I might release the digital on my website in the future. But yeah, I hold a huge archive of Weston Road photos.
Okay. All right. That sounds great.
Yay.
Yeah, for sure. And like, was this recent? Like a couple years ago, a couple months ago?
It was a couple months ago actually. Yeah, it was during the lockdown time, and they just wanted to capture the moments in time during the transition. So a lot of the businesses got shut down on that area. New businesses were coming in, and a lot of like construction, like condos, are about to come over there, unfortunately. Um,
Mm,
but yeah, and I was also working there as a community support worker for the homeless and marginalized. So I would garden with them, or we would have conversations. We do karaoke. I really love my community work because I am a social service worker. So I kind of like double handed it while I was there, getting to know the people of the community and literally writing stories on some of the members as well.
wow, that's really touching. That's really great. And like again, a lot of people, share that testament of community work, especially where they come, whether it's like Jane and Finch or any outside area of like Black Creek. Everyone shares that feeling where like they want to give back. They want to, connect with those community members and like hear their stories and build those relationships. So that's really great to hear, Rare. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see
Thank
it.
you.
Okay, so the third question, an interesting fact that you rarely share about yourself.
Okay. In my a couple of years ago, I used to be very involved with Carnival, so Caribana, designing costumes, putting it together, helping manage the band, modeling. At City Hall, they would have a release event every year where all the bands and all the models come and they present it on the stage, and it's usually on CTV. And I've done that like 3 or 4 times in my lifetime. I don't really share too much, but I really got to experience Carnival in Toronto like 100%. I'm just ready to go to Trinidad or Grenada, where I'm from, to really get that cultural type of vibes. I've been to Jab Jab, which is another
Wow.
festival basically in Grenada. So I just need to experience a real carnival, and I can say I'm living my best life.
Yeah, no, listen, Jab Jab is it's crazy. Like that time of the year is crazy. So like, so again, you're Trinidadian, Grenadian, and is there more?
Guyanese and Scottish.
Oh my God! So
I'm a
you're
coolie pot.
yo, the blood runs deep.
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, like I'm also Grenadian as well. So like I know just like the roots
Oh,
and
say
like
word. My brother from another
yeah.
mother.
I know the roots and the culture as well. Like going to Grenada is just everyone's so open and so welcoming. Like everyone's like saying good morning, good afternoon, and like
Oh my gosh. You know how many times I tell the children around here? They walk past me all silent, and I was like, oh my god, if I was in the Caribbean, they would have been like, good morning, ma'am, grand rising, how you doing?
right, right. Like good morning,
Yeah.
my brother.
The
Good morning, my
friendliness is
sister.
missing in Toronto. I'm like, am I the only one who's friendly out here? I talk to strangers all the time. We have good conversation. I don't even ask for their name, but it's a good vibes.
Right, right. It comes to the point where like you say good morning, good afternoon here in Toronto, and like mans look at you cross-eyed like, yo, who's this guy? Like, go, let me be, let me just go through my day. It's just like y'all are just smile, like something.
Yeah, 100%. I'm like, a smile could really change someone's day. It could give them a little boost that you don't even know what someone's going through. Everything's always like the iceberg. You can see the surface of it, but underneath they might be going through a lot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. So, okay, moving on to the final question. What is your personal safe room?
Personal safe room. It would have to be my room. Right?
Yeah.
Is that the safe room?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has to be my room. During the lockdown, I made my room very comfortable. I used to be like on the roads every single day doing a lot of things for my business, like every day. I used to be roadrunner rare. So now when it was like lockdown, everything's closed and like all that going on, I was like, if I'm gonna be in my room, I'm gonna make it like an artistic, like great space. So I do like on this wall, I have like the customized backdrop that my homie JP made, and then around the room, I have like a bunch of artistic like photos. Like I have baby photos. I have like self improvement. I have maps. I have art from people. Like I work with children as well, so sometimes they let me keep their drawings. I have Polaroids everywhere. I actually have like Polaroid photo albums of like all types of things I was doing over the summer. Um, yeah, I can show you guys my most recent art piece if you want.
Yeah, of course.
I got in Kensington Market. I'm not sure what his name is, but he goes by Streets Artist. I'll just show you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's so good.
So he's usually down there on Sundays for pedestrian Sunday where they lock off the street. On the back, it just says his Instagram is Visual Street.
Mm.
So yeah, it's really cool. So I have a bunch of art like this on my wall. I have affirmations like there's one that says there is beauty in everything. I even have
Mm.
Flaunted posters and a proud family painting that my friend Mona made. Um, I have like little notes that people has given me. Um, yeah.
Your room just sounds like the ultimate experience. I feel like I need to come over and just like really take in everything. 'Cause, like my room is just like it's so dull. It's just like yeah, here's my bed, here's my dresser, and like that's it. So
You
like
gotta make that environment what you want it. all of this wasn't like this. Like I used to have like nothing in my room as well, but it's just because I was like, if I gotta stay in here, it's gotta be the most comfortable. I got like 6 pillows on my bed. I got silky pillowcases and fluffy sheets. I got some duvets.
Mm,
You know, I had to get it popping in here.
okay, yeah. Okay, little side question. So like, I know you just said duvets. Like, did Caribbean parents ever used to call it Dover? Because my parents did.
No, my mom's chest is high. She'd be like, duvets? I need 2 or 3. I'm like, first of all, you don't need one.
My parents say like Dover. I'm just like because I was a child, I ran with
Maybe it's an
that shit.
accent thing.
It's probably the accent because again, my parents are both Grenadian, like born in Grenada. So like I used to always say as a kid like Dover, like all my friends would be so confused, like Dover, what you mean, like a Dover, like you don't know what a Dover is until I searched it up. I'm like, this is nowhere close to Dover. It's Duvet. What the heck? I felt such an
Yep.
idiot.
Oh no, no one told you. I hate those ones. There's what is it? Lychee and lychee. You know
Oh
that one?
yeah,
What do you call it?
I call it lychee.
It is lychee,
Yeah.
but some people say lychee and they won't even like change it back. So it's like whoop,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. No, there's a lot. Some people.
plantain, plantain.
Okay, let's just end this conversation right here. Listen, everyone be say it's plantain, plantain. If you say plantain, I'm sorry, we can't talk. It's
Oh,
it's plantain. It's because when I think plantain, I think something different that has historical context, and it's just like I'm not gonna relate
ooh,
something as good as that to what was terrible. It's just like no, it's like plantain.
true. That's facts right there. Or maybe even SpongeBob messed it up for them because you know this plant, the character, plantain,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like wait, now there's 3. No, I'm joking.
No.
But anyway, yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's a whole other conversation for another time.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We
So
should definitely go on the streets of Toronto and like ask people the three questions.
yeah, I've asked some of my coworkers too, and like a lot of them say plantain, and like I don't get irked by a lot of things, but that was kind of like got under my
Ooh,
skin a bit.
I feel that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, that was it. That was all the questions for the hot seat segment. Thank you so much, Rare. You gave some great answers.
Thank you, thank you. I tried my best.
All right, cool, cool. Now we're gonna get into the questions to know more about you. So the first one I want to ask is, how did you express yourself through your photography and videography when you first started?
I'm self-taught, so I would actually spend a lot of time alone because some people say elevation requires separation. And I really wanted to learn more about the craft. So I would actually just go outside and shoot my shot at learning to use the camera, adjusting the settings, taking pictures of random folks on the street. Of course, I'd ask for their consent first. I would do a lot of like landscapes and buildings and try to get it right over time. Yeah, I would say volunteering for the city. I volunteered for the city of Toronto as a photographer, and they gave me like this access pass, and I got to go into like multiple buildings across the GTA, and it was very cool because I got to see so many places I didn't even know existed yet,
Hmm.
and really got amazing photos. But back in the days, I didn't even have a hard drive. Like, we were just leveling up in those times,
Right.
affordability, we didn't have all that. Now I have hard drives, of course, but yeah, back then I didn't have it. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to need all these photos, and I ended up actually deleting like half of them. And now a lot of those buildings don't even exist anymore. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have kept all the photos on a hard drive. I should have invested
Yeah.
earlier. Financial literacy is so important.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like I feel you, especially with when you start off with something, you tell yourself, okay, this is cool. I'm venturing into this, and I don't know what the future holds. Is this gonna be something that I'm going to stick to long term, or is it just kind of like it's a transitional period? And then when you realize, like, oh yeah, I wanted to do this, it's like, shoot, I should have kept all that material and all that
I
information.
know. Ah, if I could say I could regret anything, is not keeping all the content that I've had since the beginning of my photography like career, because like as a kid I started off like with the Kodak camera and being my family's photographer, and then I transitioned into buying a used camera. Actually no, then I did a newspaper route, raised enough money, bought a point and shoot, and then after the point and shoot in high school when I was working at McDonald's and doing other things, buying and selling stuff, babysitting, whatever, then I bought my friend's used camera, and then that's when I started like really understanding DSLR and involving myself in it and everything. So it was definitely a process, and I really wish I could like show the lead up of it. But I kept like a couple photos. It's not like I have like the whole album of like all the buildings and everything that I wanted to, but I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we did that, and then I have an Instagram where I kind of just kept like all the archives and my like mini adventures in the highlights. I don't know if anyone really looks at the highlights. Like I'm really wondering if anyone even clicks them, because I be putting all the cool stuff in there.
Highlights, it kind of goes either way because it depends. I feel like highlights are a really great tool, especially for someone who's just visiting your page for the first time. If you're not willing to go through every single post, the highlights are there. Just like, okay, here are my top posts that are like compiled into different sections.
Yeah. Like I just started doing my highlights like 2022, putting some emojis. I just have a lot of cool content, and I'm literally always on adventures and find myself in cool places there, discovering events and festivities. And I'm like, okay, let's capture the moments in the highlights. And I feel like most people just look at it when it's on your story, and then after that, it's like gone.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So just add like a follow-up question. Like you said, you were self-taught, you were just learning to, really get into your craft. Like what were some of the challenges that you faced? Like did you feel like, oh, even though I'm self-taught, I actually can pick up this immediately, or I was actually struggling a bit and I needed to get some assistance or help?
Okay, I would say I kind of just continued to just like figure it out along the way. I spent a lot of time in the editing process. So around that time, I didn't want to like YouTube it. For some reason, I was just like, I really just want to do this from scratch. Like, let's see what I can do. So like I would throw images into like Adobe or Photoshop or any like editing softwares, and just like start moving around the settings, start to make like dramatic shadows, seeing what the tools do. And then from that process, I started like creating digital art. So like that's when I
Right.
started like my actual art practice as a creative in Toronto is that I create digital art displays around the city.
Mm-hmm.
So well, whether it's like posters or advertisements and things like that, I kind of take photography and images and combine them. Yeah, so like ever since I started with film photography, yeah, I would just copy and paste the film. I would pull in the film images from the Kodaks, and then kind of crop them out like on pieces of paper. Like I started doing the collages by hand, and like that's what I found fun, like cutting magazines and then taking the film photos and then also the digital photos and doing like crafts on them. And then I found like software on my computer. My friend gave me some software, um, which is blessed. And then I was able to like do so much more. And then Canva became an accessible tool, and then just advancing into that as well. But yeah, that's always been like my arts and crafts from time. And I was in like primary school. Um, when I learned about this artistic practice. Like I went to a pretty well funded primary school, so we got to learn like a lot about like we did quilting, we grew pumpkins, we had a pet
Wow.
rabbit in the classroom. Yeah, we had family fun nights, we had reading day. That's actually where I realized that I was an author. I have another photo for that as well. They basically had everyone in the school from grade 1 to grade 5 make these booklets out of like materials, and they had like a binding like a binder a binding machine like in the school, and then every single grade would have a different type of book. I'm not sure how old I am here, but like I've always loved storytelling, and I've loved art, and I love pictures and creation. And like now that I'm older, I've realized like how can I tie these into one? And I was like, okay, writing, photography, storytelling, it goes into making the books that I have and future books that I am creating. So this is where I realized I was an author. One
All
second.
right. That's amazing. That is amazing, guys. I hope you guys are listening to this, man. Like this is like so inspirational.
So I found this in my basement. I was just cleaning up and I was just like, oh my gosh. During the lockdown again, I was so lost in the sauce. I was like, ooh, what am I doing in my career? Should I still be a social worker? Like I was indecisive because like I didn't know if you're gonna open up or close down or what was going on. So that panic kind of made me think like, let me do something that I know I can do safely inside and also like express myself because I got sticky notes on my bed head. Like I write every single day. Like I write three things I'm grateful for in the morning times. But there's like I have like a little notebook where I write three things I'm grateful for almost every day. And then I have like a journal, the Ray's World journal. Boop.
Wow.
I always have a red book. Red's like my thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I schedule in there. I'm able to like manage my time. But yeah, this is a little on me
That's adorable.
figuring out who I'm destined to be.
Yeah.
Now I'm chasing these trees,
Okay.
getting it so happily.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Listen, I can put out a beat and we can just like freestyle here, you know? So
We'll have to do that live. You're gonna have to come over to the Rare Voices Talent Showcase when I come back in March.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I see you. I see you. No, that's
Yeah. We pop up around the city. We just doing our thing. I don't represent any areas or anything. I just really love. I'm always around the city, whether it's west, east, north York, the beaches, you name it. I'm everywhere.
right.
I feel like all you need is $1 and a dream, and also a microphone and a speaker and a
It's
winning
like
team.
yeah, it's like a dollar dream and like every other necessity in terms of do the work.
Yup,
Uh
yup.
huh. No, that's really great to hear. You know, and I love how you say how you can take previous stuff that you've done and tie it into one huge story. You know, I love you keep that sentiment of being a storyteller because I'm someone that with my podcast I try to be the same, create a story. So whether it's like through an episode or sometimes ideas I have, I try to like tie things together. So that's really great, and I feel like a lot of people are trying to find themselves in terms of that, like try to find how the story can be, you know, reached out to different people, how they can share, you know, themselves, but also how can I integrate you into this story as well. I think that's something a lot of people are starting to realize, and it's really good that you're definitely like one of those people that are just out there. Like again, I can testify. I swear, every single time you're at a new location, I'm like, yo, does she have like some type of like bus pass on standby, like a program where it's like I go here, I go here. It's like it's crazy. Like your work ethic and drive is phenomenal.
Yes. Yeah, I work hard so I could play hard, of course. What's the point in working for this money if you're not gonna enjoy this money? You know, while the grind is great, every time I know I'm doing well, I like to treat myself. So I always look for like really cool restaurants, like local restaurants in the city, and try them out. I love supporting local. I truly support local. Like I have people's merch lines. I have people's books. I have a collection of Toronto authors. I've bought jewelry from people. My hairstylist herself. I go to her. I know how to do it myself, but I'm like I love the fact that someone else is there, and she sings to me also. Anywho, she's great. TK for the win.
Mm,
Yeah, I love my community and I love how I'm building community and able to reinvest in them, like how they spend time watching what I'm doing and show me this love. I'm like, ooh, y'all help me keep going and keep doing this. So yeah, I appreciate it and I'm always grateful to everyone around me in the community in Toronto. Like Toronto is home.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? With that answer, you kind of answered like two questions in one. I asked you about like how do you express yourself through photography and videography. You kind of also answered like your dreams, you know, with the reputation you established for yourself as well. So that's perfect. Like killing two birds with one stone right there. So
Ooh, the dream is a bit different though.
oh, is
I do
it?
gotta tell you.
Oh,
It is actually very different. So overall, what I'm currently building and everything that I'm onto, is called Rare's World. So it's a platform that focuses on self care, mental health, and creativity. through products and services. So the products would be like the books for self-reflection or self-development. I run classes for improving yourself. I do consultations. I help people build their businesses or their self-development um, aspects of themselves, like what they want to focus more on. I'm a motivator. I'm an energizer. I storytell. I do poetry around the city. My biggest booking has been Canadian Tire for Black History Month to all of their staff. That was like really legendary for me. And then I also was booked at Seneca. Yeah, Seneca actually hired me. That was one of my first bookings, and I really couldn't believe that I was able to express myself on that stage. As one of my friends who referred me. So another key thing is in your journey, surround yourself with friends who put your name in these places and spaces and let people know how great you are. Because sometimes your name is being called and spoken about in rooms you didn't even step foot in, and that's how we continue to grow together. Shout out to my people there. Period.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the overall dream is to continue building the platform and share the workshops and my knowledge and give back that knowledge, as well as like support other people in their journey, as well as just have fun. So like for children, I would teach something called space storytelling to teach them about outer space, planets, storytelling, making their own books. I do this for organizations across the city. When I'm not working in social service like job context, on the side, I'm running classes for folks. I do birthday parties like this. Like I really want to do this for the rest of my life. So I'm trying to build it in a way where I'm able to give back my knowledge, give back my energy, and continue doing what I love, but at the same time having other people enjoy themselves. Cause yeah, I'm a big kid at heart. I like to say, but still growing and getting older as I continue. So, Rare's World, I got the merch line, and the merch line actually is called Royal Bankrolls, so it's an umbrella underneath Rare's World, and it's a merch line where every time people buy into it, I'm able to create community initiatives like the Rare Voices Talent Showcase, which I only run twice a year because it does take a lot of time and energy to put together. But I'd like to continue doing that and having like prizes for the artists, and we run games during the event, so having like a bunch of like little gift baskets and things like that. So when I sell merch, I try to make those baskets and have them ready for these events so everyone can have a good time. So yeah, I'm
Wow.
just continuing to build as we continue. That's just a social initiative that I'd like to keep giving back to communities, like basketball events, games nights, family days, the showcase,
Hmm.
girls retreats, like all of that is like what I hope for in the future. But in the meanwhile, I'm gonna keep writing these books for y'all based around black main character energy. Black people cannot be the side characters no more. We are entering the future and we're over it.
Yeah, I've heard of Rare's World. I actually looked at it and I was like, wow, like this is really dope. And again, sorry if I confused that for like your original answer, thinking that was your dream. So thank you for the clarification that Rare's World was the dream.
It's a dream only I could see some days, you know. I'm like, will we get there? Maybe someday. Maybe it's a place. I'm trying to figure out how to make it a virtual space, but in time we will know. Yeah, but it's way bigger than people think it is.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, that's really great to hear. And I know you mentioned Royal Bankrolls. So again, like just to dive in a little bit deeper into that, just like when you created this, like what was your thought process? And did you expect to get the number of like people to like invest in Royal Bankrolls like you did, or did you feel like I'm not sure, like it's like hit or miss?
Yeah, that was like the literal beginning of my whole entrepreneur, like soulpreneur journey. Was all I wanted was a merch line. I originally started with Royal Bankrolls having like a Money Visions logo, and I realized over time I need to branch it out more and really learn. So I took a lot of classes in business, and I have a lot of mentors, and I always kept revising it and trying again. I really love fashion. I love dressing up. I love everything like that. But I love my lounge and my comfort wear. So when I was 17 years old, I had the concept and idea and the logo design of Royal Bankrolls. And I was just like, okay, I just want to have a merch line and that's it. But when I realized what comes with the process of building the merch line, I was like, who's going to take the pictures? Then I'm like, oh yeah, I have photography experience. Let me do that. But then I started to find love in so many avenues, and I was at an age where I started exploring. So when I just wanted the merch line in the beginning, then I learned the photography, then I combined them. Then I'm like, ooh, we're going to need commercials. So I went into videography and I did some training in that as well. I also had training in studio production, which is like live broadcast as well as like making movies. So I know how to do all of that as well, and I have the resources and everything. But I realized that industry is a bit white male dominated, and it was really hard to get into, as well as for me, it's like it wasn't a healthy environment.
Hmm.
Um, and I wasn't really a fan of doing that long term. So when I pivoted over to social service work, I realized I wanted to make more of a community impact. I have a lot of energy, and I come from a lot of barriers within my journey. So I felt like I was able to help folks like me. I grew up in a marginalized community in public housing, so like I know what it is.
Hmm.
I'm on both sides of the spectrum, being book smart and street smart, and understanding how to navigate within those systems. So yeah, I felt way more fulfilled, way more like me, um, way more loved and appreciated within that environment. So that's what made me kind of continue.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's great to hear. That's great to hear. Yeah, I'm really glad that you shared that, especially tying it back to your community, how you realized when you went into the industry. Like you said, it is very white male dominated. And we see that a lot where it's so hard to access resources, whether it's like getting the chance to, film something or even connect with people. The networking might be difficult. So sometimes it always brings us back to the community because that's like our home from home. And like it brings us much closer to where like people are there to help support you and everything. And I love how you use the word pivot as well. Like that's something that I think any entrepreneur is probably going to hear a lot. Like how do you pivot when something isn't working? How do you pivot yourself to changing the strategy? You're like, okay, this didn't work. Let me just pivot, tweak this a bit, and now here's the new direction. And like I think I'm starting to realize that right now with my own stuff, whether it's like my listeners, who's actually listening to me, and if I'm not getting that level of engagement, how do I pivot in terms of my approach, maybe how I engage on social media, maybe with some of the products or the services or content I can offer, how do I make sure that people are getting out to me and saying, hey, like I'm actually receiving this now, like, and it's like it shows there's an improvement, there's actually some change happening. So that's really great to hear, Rare, in terms of like how everything came together for you with Royal Bankrolls and just everything coming into the fold. And like I said, you have a lot going on as well. So it's like the fact that it's like it's you and like I don't know if you have like maybe a team or maybe you just have people that really support you.
Not yet. It's just been me for a while, and I like contract out my logo designers, and I'm trying to build a solid team, but it takes a really long time to really find those like-minded individuals. I do a lot of networking, so I'd say for yourself and myself, like to continue to elevate within the industry, it's like the in-person interactions that are mostly coming back. The online is great, but I feel like it's really overflowed. So when we meet people in real life, we're able to build those like genuine connections, and like that's how real people get real things. They meet other real people on the roads. And yeah, I just feel like the more we get out there, the more we get the word out, the more we're able to connect with more people. I think a lot of people are also experience screen fatigue, so that's when they're over the phone, they're over the laptop, they're over the Zooms, they're over the meetings. They just want to meet in person. They miss that social connection.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know I'm definitely one person where it's like most of my stuff I was doing my podcast, especially like in the early like 2020 moving forward. I was just kind of like online, and it was just probably last year, especially this year, I'm starting to go out a little bit more. That might have to do with the fact that I had school and everything, and York was killing me like like emotionally with stuff. But I mean, yeah, I totally agree. A lot of people are ready to kind of get off, their laptops or computers or phones, and they want to engage in person.
Yeah, there's so many amazing events in the city. Like it's great. I actually had that Fame Holiday like message me and give me free tickets to his concert today, but I can't even go because I have to run a bunch of errands. So I was like, oh, work have to get done, damn. But maybe one day, definitely come out. And you also mentioning like the Royal Bankrolls. So like after I did all this pivoting and like finding myself, I had to like refine myself and who I am and what I wanted to do and how to like really organize. The key word organize. A lot of people are overwhelmed because they're just unorganized. If we had more organized, you wouldn't feel that anxiety and that tension because you would know exactly what's going on. So after organizing myself and rebranding and relaunching, my relaunch is actually supposed to be this year, but I'm gonna probably wait till January and into the new year. And yeah, relaunching and reorganizing the brand to incorporate Rare's World and Royal Bankrolls. So it would be like Royal Bankrolls by Rare's World, just like how it's like a Fenty by Rihanna, similar to that concept. So I got to rebrand, reevaluate. I checked in with like my supports and like my community and asked them what do they want to see. So I felt like when I started asking them like what colors they were interested in and like what do they usually wear, what are they feeling for, what's the seasons like, and I'm able to do that research, then I was like, okay, this relaunch would be more successful. So when I did a pre-launch basically last winter, I did pre-orders, and when I seen how many people supported, it was amazing. It was a hard process because it is just me pushing, moving, package, like doing everything. But it really felt right because I'm seeing people wear the merch and I'm just like, guys, that was my one dream. That was my initial dream in the future. All I wanted to do was see people rock my merch and love it like I do. So it's just like, wow, now that it's come full circle after years of working on it, like from 17 and I'm now 24, 25 in December. I'm like, wow, life is going really fast and it's finally coming to fruition. I'm feeling like a lot of people are really giving me the flowers and recognizing like the work it is. I've seen a lot of people try and fail, and I'm just like, I failed, but I get back up. And Royal Bankroll stands for resilience. It's actually a character of a panther, and it means to fall down and get back up and get back up and keep going. And we know from the movie Black Panther how strong he really is. So when you look at it, you'll know the money is in the eyes because the world revolves around money. So royalty, we are kings and queens for generations to come, and bankrolls because the world revolves around money, dollar bills, y'all. So that's the brand, a little bit explained for y'all. I know it's a little bit complicated, but in the future it all makes sense. I'm
Wait,
working on
hold
it
on.
and the website's coming
I'm about to
soon and I'm
stop you
trying my
there for a
best.
second. Nothing about that was complicated. They didn't get the message. They just weren't listening. You were kind of like spazzing at the end. I was just sitting there, just like, bro, what the heck? Like she's going off right now. So like,
I'm still like learning how to articulate it, but like I just hope it makes
it makes
sense.
it makes total sense. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
You got it.
thank
You got
you.
it. All right. So we're gonna take a quick intermission, and when I say intermission, we're just gonna switch things up for a bit. So I did want to ask you, Rare, just a simple question. Is there any TV shows, movies that you're watching at the moment right now? Anything that like you might want to share with the audience that like, hey, yo, this show's kind of hot right now. You should go check it out.
Ooh. Like because I got a lot going on, I actually don't have a lot of time to watch TV. I listen to a lot of jazz music, lo-fi beats, underground rappers in my free time. But movies, I really like my animation and my classics, but I can also say I'm a big Marvel fan.
Okay.
So, She-Hulk and Agent Carter and Black Lightning, those are like my
Black
faves.
Lightning.
But
Okay,
Black
yeah,
Lightning
yeah,
was
we're on the
crazy.
same page right there. Yes,
Everything superhero, it's for me. Yeah.
yes.
So my actual character is a basically a black alien astronaut.
Mm.
So this is a little VIP thing, but I'm going to be coming out with like a 10-book series called Rare's World Adventures in the future, coming in 2025. Um, where basically the character itself has powers, and she's the black main character, alien, princess, warrior, goddess, empowering the youth them
Bro,
basically.
you're like Kevin
But we'll
Feige
get
right
there.
now. Like you're literally just like this is phase one, just putting out the Easter eggs and everything. We're about to see a trailer like next year. Just like, wait, what is this? Like coming soon.
Oh, we working every day. I spend every single hour of the day trying to figure it out. Like I'm so dedicated, so committed, and I'm like, I don't care how long it takes, but we getting it done. Like if everyone who knows me knows this drive is real, and I'm like, I reinvest and I keep investing, and I'm like, yeah, I could work a 9 to 5, or I could go chase these dreams, and I want to shoot my shot at that 1%. So yeah,
Okay, and
we'll see what happens.
yeah, I love how you said that you're a Marvel fan. Like yeah, there's a couple of good shows. She-Hulk, I'm not sure about that one. I'm just being honest. I'm like,
It's a little rough. Season 1 is like getting there, but I just like the comedic aspects. I think the storyline is a little off, especially in the last episode. I'm like, what? What?
yeah,
Like,
like they basically like
I was so confused,
full out
but
fourth wall break.
it's funny, so I could give them that. It's got its comedic aspects.
Yeah.
I would say, like, past shows that I really like is iZombie, the 100, all the Lightning Thief series. We love the Hunger Games. These are older movies.
Yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, my favorite of all time has to be the Iron Giant. It's like a
Mm.
90s classic.
Okay, all right, that's really good to hear. Yeah, like it's funny because I actually had a conversation on Marvel a couple weeks back with another artist, and he's like I don't know nothing about Marvel, and we talked about the Phase 5, Phase 6 movies coming up, and I was like I'm here for it, but at the same time like please don't like rush things and make it feel forced, you know. It's just gonna be such a sour taste because like I think in Phase 6 there's like two Avenger movies coming in the same year. Just like what? How's that gonna work?
I don't even know. Like, the way, like, are you the person that sits through the credits and know that there's a secret scene after?
Yeah, of course. I'm not. Listen, anytime a movie's done, I am not leaving until like I see that full Marvel Studios. Like, okay, done. I'm sitting there. I see people leaving. I'm like, y'all are idiots.
You're not a real
Yeah,
Marvel
y'all ain't real
fan if
Marvels.
you leave. Are you a Nikki fan?
Yeah, yeah. You know what? There's something else I wanted to mention too before we get back on track. Nicki Minaj, she's getting a lot of like backlash, especially to her comments against Lotto. Because I think what happened was it Super Free Girl? Is that the name of the song? It moved from being a hip hop track to a pop track, and Nicki was not feeling it. She was basically like, okay, so why isn't Lotto's Big Energy? Why is that still hip hop? That's clearly pop. And then like I'm here sitting like, Nicki, you nearly have like beef with every female rapper in the game. What is your deal? Like,
I think, to be honest, it's just like marketing for them to have this like little bit of drama, and then they just send each other some really nice gifts, and then it's over. Like, in the publicity and like attention of like stardom, I feel like all the mix up is just like entertainment for TMZ and for the audience to be like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Because like Nikki retired and then she came back. And then she's like, I'm here. And then Cardi's like, no, but I'm here. And then all the other queens are like, no, I'm here. And then Beyonce is like, bam. And then it's just like, whoa.
yeah, I hear you, but I think that applies to some people. I truly believe Nicki's just kind of being a little petty about it. She's being a bully in a way because it's just like,
She's a drama
yeah, she. Is.
queen.
And listen,
We love it
I,
though.
I knew this. I knew this since the whole Travis Scott incident where like Travis album topped Nicki's album Queen, and she was like, "Oh, how to?" It's just like Nicki, listen, we love you, we do, but like I
hmm
don't mean this in the most disrespectful way. Be quiet. Just gosh. Do your thing. If you want to talk trash, drop an album and talk trash. Don't be talking trash and then drop one song every 6 months and start going off rants and like going crazy.
Yeah, she can't do that. If she's going to be an artist and say that she's the queen and she wants to top everything, you better be consistent.
Yeah, so like, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, like,
I feel that. I love her, but like that as well. And I'm like, we haven't seen a really good album in a really long time. And I want her to go back to doing like those very soft songs, but also her articulated rap.
mhm,
Where she's not like, yeah, 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 but she's actually like super bass and Iggy Piggy Piggy, like
yeah,
the originals.
monster.
Like bring
We
back
need
that
that. We
type of
need that
flow.
monster, Nikki. Come on, I need that one.
Yeah. Like a dungeon dragon.
Yes.
Bruh, bruh, like yeah, that where she has that character. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. But yeah, okay, kind of getting back into things. So just gonna talk about this one thing that I think is really good because from what we've heard this so far this episode, you explain how you've been everywhere basically. I feel like I would list a city or somewhere and you're like, yep, I've been there. I guarantee you. But
Oh no, I'm actually like I'm born and raised in Toronto, so I haven't actually explored a lot of like outside of Canada, but I hope to go on tour in 2025 when I start writing the series and having more books. That is part of the dream and the plan. Like that's how I'm talking about like Rare's world is not just Canada or Toronto. The actual world in different places. But it's a game plan for future reference of like once I have a couple more books, I'm gonna read them around Canada and then maybe around the world in the future, and see how that goes.
yeah, yeah, that's
I've only been to like Barrie, New York, Ottawa,
yeah. Well, I mean, listen.
basic places.
Hey, listen, that's still good. That's still good. But I want to talk about like interacting at social events, and more specifically, you kind of sharing your experience. So maybe if there's any audience member who's a little bit timid of going out and talking to people, like you could probably share how what your experience was. Maybe you had that same timid energy, or maybe for you, like you're able to kind of just flourish in that environment. Just kind of share your experience on that and like let people know like what's the best way to kind of overcome that fear of talking to people in person.
Of course. I actually used to be an introvert, so that's why I didn't see much of a push with the Royal Bankrolls in the past. It's because I wasn't like socializing enough, and I wasn't into the social media as much. Like I used to have a locked account, never used to do the following or really or remember to like ask people for their Instagrams when I do meet them in person. Like I would have forgot that aspect of connecting. But it is about really like asking. If you don't ask, you'll never know the answer, and the answer will be no in your head if you never ask. So I realized that while I'm out and about and introducing myself to people, ask at least one question about them, and it helps to create the conversation, especially if you're shy and timid and nervous. So when you get caught up in a conversation, you can get comfortable and then get situated. So when you're out and you're feeling shy, you could actually this part of your hand, like if you have I have anxiety, I suffered from depression back in the days as well, and sometimes so I would pinch this area here, and it's supposed to help you relax. And then I learned from my friend as well that there's something called a butterfly hug. So
Yeah.
you just like kind of hug yourself to breathe, kind of slow down before you enter those public spaces. If you feel like you're not ready or feeling like, oh my God, there's a lot of people here, take a deep breath, slow it down, remember who you are. Be like, I can do this. Say it to yourself, say it to your phone, whatever you need to do to get in that headspace. But yeah, kind of just shake off the nerves, shake it off, and just be like, these are people just like me. They're not above or lesser than or anything like that. You gotta
Right.
get rid of those connotations around like levels in life and everything. Just like hang out with people like you used to when you were a kid. When you add all these extra things on top of it, just it makes it so much more complicated, and then you start overthinking, and it becomes a domino effect, and you don't want that. So breathe, talk to people, be cool, just be like, hey, I love your hair. Start with a compliment. It also is really sweet because a lot of people don't really hear those compliments or are really friendly in the city. Um, Maybe like ask if someone's comfortable with hugs or handshakes or whatever. Ask for their Instagram, ask for their number, ask for their emails, whatever it is, whatever networking event you're in. Just ask that question, ask them how they started, ask them what they like to do in the city, ask them what their favorite restaurant is. Anything like that can help spark a connection. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's great. And like I bet there's some people that are probably shocked to hear that, like, oh wow, you were an introvert when you first started. Like, like I know, like when they think that, like, oh, that's hard to believe. Like, because they always assume, oh, this person, they're always outgoing, loud, brash. It's like, nah, it was complete opposite.
No, definitely. Like in middle school, I was like so shy. I only had two friends. Like I wouldn't even go to people's like birthdays or anything. Like I had this like my day one friends will tell you I was an introvert to the core. Like she was, her name is Grace, like one of my day one friends, and she would always she's like into the sports, track and field, volleyball, and I'm always there on the sidelines taking the pictures or just like as I continue to grow, I'm like, okay, what if I use that supportive energy for myself and be my own cheerleader? And
Mm,
then I feel like that's when I started to branch out of my shell. And I had a lot of mentors really like rise me up and really believe in me and tell me to go shoot those shots. So like I have like three main mentors, and like one of them gave me the first time I read poetry changed my life. Okay,
mm,
so I was introverted. I was just going there to support the other people in the group. Like I wanted to just be in the crowd, and someone had dropped out of the I think it was an open mic. They're going for open mic. Someone dropped out of the open mic
right.
list, and my mentor is like, "Rare, you should go up there and do some poetry." I was like,
It's like, you sure about that?
I was like, whoa, up there, there's a mic, it's loud. Everyone. I was like, I don't think my poetry is for everybody. And they're like, how do you know? How are you gonna know if you don't try? And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
do I have to? They're like, I will give you $50 to go up there for 5 minutes.
Bro.
I was like, okay,
That's
okay, you
when
got
money
it. So
talks.
hand me
Money
the mic.
talks. It's like, okay.
Money be talking. Yeah, literally, I was like, yeah, I was just like working at like Winners or something at that time, and I was just working like a regular job and everything, and I was just like, I could buy some nice things with that. And then I did have some poems I was writing, but I never used to share my poetry. I write a lot, and I just have it in a book. But I produced the book just like a year or two ago now. But yeah, these are poems that I never want to share anywhere. But when I did hit that mic, and I don't know, it just felt right. The lights were hitting. I was reading it, and when I was done, it was so quiet. And then 5 seconds later, everyone was like, "Oh my god, that was amazing!" I was like, "Oh my god, they like it." That part right there, I think it like changed my life in my head. I was like, I want to be a voice for the silent. I want to get my voice heard. I'm tired of being the quiet one. I'm tired of never speaking my mind and holding it in. And I was like, what happens if I let go? What
Hmm.
happens if I try? What happens when I speak what I want to share with others? Does it open their mind?
Right.
Does it make things easier to define? Does it create a flow? Does anyone really know? Something
Yo,
like
listen.
that.
Okay, Rare. I think it's official. I think. Listen, we might have to get you on the remix for my song.
I'll try it. Let me know. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
Yeah, I don't no, like that's really great to hear, and I love how you gave some different ways to kind of cope when you're stressed or you're anxious. The butterfly hug is one I hear a lot. Even like the pinching, like that's new. So like that's something I'll definitely try out. And one thing I also want to add on to everyone listening, trust me, everyone in the audience is rooting for you. There's like there are spaces where people are just like, yeah, like I want this person to do good, and even if it's like you feel nervous, they're gonna be like, hey, you got this, like you got it, man. Don't worry, they kill it, and like that's that extra confidence that you get, where it's like you're not worried about what the reaction is gonna be about, like, oh, am I gonna do bad? Am I gonna be terrible? It's just like, no, there's people out there that want to see you win, and like that's a great feeling. That's a great confidence boost in a way where I can do anything at that moment.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you don't feel supported, support yourself. There are
Hmm.
times where I wasn't sure if my friends were understanding what I was trying to build, and I would like cancel plans because I want to chase my dreams and they wouldn't get it. And then when my flowers started to come, and when they started to see the progress for real, like, wow, I'm so proud. How'd you get there? Da, da, da. And I'm like, I just kept doing it. I kept trying. I failed. I tried. When you fail, that's not the end of the line. It just means try again, or pivot, or do something different, or anything like that.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And like also like you've been to a lot of events. Like there's different types. So like, what would you say are like the different types of events that are out there that people could go to if they want to just open up and network and connect with people?
Like there's different groups for everything. Whether you're a creative, there's like black events. There's like a black skating club in Toronto. There's
Oh,
a Just Us movie screening organization where like all black people go watch all the black movies every time it comes out. There's events like Sunday Social. There's Rise.
yeah,
There's like Flaunt It. They have their events here and there as well. They even have opportunities to submit to their magazines, especially for like BIPOC women. There's LinkedIn events for virtual. If you're not ready for the in-person interactions, you could go on Facebook groups or the LinkedIn groups and things like that, and like go into webinars. There's events at the library. Um, there is always stuff popping up on Instagram.
hmm,
Yeah, there's so much,
yes,
especially free. There's a lot of free stuff and affordable, like $10, $15 tickets. Like, yeah, go to people's events and support local, as well as like donate if you can,
hmm.
because it makes things possible.
Yes, absolutely. That's absolutely great to hear. Thank you, Rare. And yeah, that's actually about it. So again, Rare, thank you for coming on the Safe Room podcast. This was a wonderful talk. Wonderful talk.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I hope I dropped the 1-2 gems. I hope
Oh, you
y'all
dropped like
hit me up on
20
the
gems.
IG if you want. Follow the journey. Stay tuned for those books that I'm working on, because this is for the Black excellence. Okay?
Yes.
Trying to create a intergenerational wealth, but that's a whole different conversation, and we gotta dig deep into that later
Yes,
on.
absolutely, absolutely. Where can people find you on social media?
They could find me in my community Instagram at Rares World. So RARES.world. I'm working on doing the TikTok business. I'm gonna get there. Or you can find me at XO.rare, or even Googling my hashtag Rares World. Can also pull up like articles and podcasts, and you can just find everything you need using the hashtag. Yeah.
All right, sounds perfect. Again, thank you, Rare. Thank you to everyone listening to the Safe Room podcast. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at the Safe Room Official and on Twitter at the Safe Room Pod. Also, go check out my website www.thesaferoompodcast.com. I'm gonna be active on TikTok and YouTube soon. Listen, I have a TikTok. It's a go remodeling a bit. YouTube as well. I'm remodeling, so don't worry, that's coming. Also, we're gonna be posting our newsletter very soon. We dropped our first one back in September. I've had to delay this one so far because there's again some things I want to announce, and Rare might know because I've mentioned to this like before we recorded. So I'm just gonna keep that hush hush for now. But yeah, that's definitely in the works. And again, guys, for anyone listening to the intro and the outro of this episode, again, the theme song is by me. It's called First Lady. You can listen to it on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, anywhere. You can find it anywhere. Listen to the track. Let me know. We're almost coming to the 1 year anniversary. I need to do something to celebrate it. It's like something. I don't know.
You will. I bet you will.
Yes.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Maybe even do a live at Eaton Center or something.
I mean, why not? Just kind of pull up and just like, who is this guy? Like,
Yep.
that would be dope.
I've hit people's mics all the time. I don't even know who these people are. I'm like, hey, can I say something for a second? Like, sure.
Yeah. That would be a good experience. That would be a good experience.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Cool. But thank you guys for listening. We'll be back with another episode, and